Namaste, reporting for TV9 News. This is Priyanka Deo. After his social media accounts got suspended, Democrats have formally introduced an article of impeachment against US President Donald Trump. The article charges him of, and I quote, incitement of insurrection for his role in the US Capitol riots, which took place just a few days ago. With just days left of his presidency before the official transfer of position and power to Joe Biden, is it possible for Donald Trump to get impeached? And if he does get impeached, what happens next? Here's what you need to know. The article of impeachment for Donald Trump that was introduced invokes the 25th Amendment of the US Constitution. The 25th Amendment says that if the president becomes unable to do his job, then the vice president, currently Mike Pence, becomes the president or the acting president of the United States of America. As per the US Constitution, to get impeached, a president, along with other officers, must have committed, and I quote, treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. To formally get impeached, a simple majority plus one of 216 votes from the House of Representatives is needed. This is followed by a Senate trial, which is presided by the U.S. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. A full two-thirds of the 100 senators must then vote in favor of the president's impeachment for him to get formally impeached. Now, at present, the article of impeachment for Donald Trump has 213 co-sponsors from the House. According to U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the next step will be bringing the impeachment legislation to the floor of the House for a vote. Now, the House is expected to consider this article of impeachment within the next few days. Now, two things are happening at the same time. First, the House of Democrats are formally calling on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment. Second, the House is planning to vote on this article of impeachment if Vice President Pence does not respond within 24 hours of receiving this request. If the House was to vote in favor of the impeachment article, it would send the impeachment article to the Senate, where a trial would take place. Now, even though this impeachment article has been formally introduced while Trump is still president, it would take longer than January 20th to formally complete proceedings to impeach Trump. In other words, it's likely that the impeachment process would not conclude before Joe Biden becomes president. This brings us to the next question. Can Trump get impeached after his term ends? Well, the Senate, which is the upper house of the United States government, is expected to return to session on January 19th. Thus, if officials wanted to impeach Trump before Jan 20th, it means that the Senate would have to unanimously agree to have an early session. Even if one senator votes no, then the session would not reconvene early. Furthermore, if Vice President Mike Pence were to invoke the 25th Amendment, he cannot do it alone. It would require Pence and a majority of sitting cabinet secretaries or another body designated by Congress to invoke. This means that Pence and a majority of sitting cabinet secretaries would all have to decide that Donald Trump is unfit for office. President Trump's cabinet includes Vice President Pence, the heads of 15 executive departments, and 7 other members, making it a total of a 23-member cabinet. Mike Pence invoking the 25th Amendment seems more than unlikely, as several cabinet members, including acting U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao, and Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, have all recently resigned. If the Vice President does not invoke the 25th Amendment, the House would have to vote to impeach. Now, voting to impeach is basically indicting President Trump. The process then goes to Senate for trial. Now, with just a few days left in power, it's unlikely that these impeachment proceedings will go through. But Trump can still be technically impeached after his term ends. Impeachment after Trump's term ends means that he will not get the benefits given to former presidents, including a pension, annual travel allowance, and security detail. Even though the president can be impeached after his term ends, this is extremely rare. Only 2 other presidents in U.S. history, that's Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, have been formally impeached by Congress. With that being said, the subjective circumstances and the timing of the impeachment vote, which is so close to the end of Trump's term, raise a lot of questions as to what happens next. If the impeachment trial proceeds in the Senate, it would run into the first few days of the Biden administration and could negatively define the first days of Joe Biden's presidency. The House can also choose to delay sending the indictment to the Senate until Biden settles in. Keep in mind, the USA faces among the highest COVID-19 cases in the world, and the US government is busy with the COVID-19 vaccine distribution as well. President Donald Trump's White House has rightfully criticized the impeachment move, saying that it would polarize the country more. The White House said, and I quote, "A politically motivated impeachment against a president with days remaining in his term will only serve to further divide our great country." Reporting for TV9 News, this is Priyanka Deo, signing off. Namaste.